primary. What's coming up, Pastor Pickett?
It's a primary coming up August 8th. Primary, yeah.
Primary coming up August 8th, and then in November is what?
That's the general election.
That's the general election. That's all right. So look, Pastor Pickett, man, been knowing you a long time, man. I know you've been in the community. You're always about the community, man. Of course, you got haters. Don't forget them haters, because I see your work in the community. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people gonna say this, a lot of people gonna say that, but when you actually see a person out there in the community doing good in the community, what they say don't really matter, because you know actions speak louder than words.
Absolutely.
Action always speaks louder than words, and I mean, anytime a community needs you, you there. Man, I can't say nothing bad about you. I mean, you're honest, you're transparent, and that's always a blessing to have. You know, somebody that's transparent, like, look, I'm not perfect. Ain't nobody perfect, but this is me. Accept me for me. This is where my heart is. This is where this is where my heart led me, and this is what my heart is leading me to do. And it's in a community. And one thing I can always say about Pastor Big, I see him. I can see him. I might be in the grocery store, might be in Walmart, might be driving down the street or something, but I'm gonna see him. And that's the biggest thing for me, to be able to get in contact, to be able to approach you, be able to approach you. You're approachable.
Right.
And you can't say that for 10% of the politician. You can't even say that for 5% of the politician. So now we coming to a decision now, like, okay, election's coming up. Everybody's talking about the presidential election, president, but that don't really affect us like that. It affects us, but the things that's going on in the state, that's what's really affect us immediately. Your mayors, your senators, your councilmen, those are things that really affect the policies that's going on in your neighborhood and in your community, whether it's vagrants, whether it's drugs, whether it's economic boost, bringing in money into it, into these neighborhoods and into our communities. You know, and you want somebody that's a part of our community, that can tell you the struggles. You know what I'm saying? They can tell you, I see these problems. I done been through that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You can't tell me how a pineapple tastes if you ain't never tasted a pineapple.
Never tasted one. That's right.
You know what I'm saying? You can only tell me what you heard.
Right.
Or what you've seen, but you can't tell me what a pineapple tastes like if you ain't never tasted one.
Absolutely.
So anyway, Pastor Big, I think I did your whole speech.
You got it.
So what led you to Senate and not go council or mayor or whatever?
Man, I was just watching, man. I've been watching, and, honestly, I'm a person of faith. So
yeah,
I was at this place. I was seeing all these things happen.
Right.
And I didn't like the direction we were going in.
Right.
And so I prayed. I said, Lord, what you want me to do?
Right. What you want me to do?
And I feel like I serve. I've done this.
Right.
Water, I'm giving up water. I'm doing whatever it takes, right? Yeah. And I felt like you said, run for office.
Yeah.
And honestly, I wrestled with that. I qualified the last day, the last hour to qualify. Right. I qualified. I went in there to qualify with my debit card. They didn't take debit cards. If a partner of mine wouldn't have been in there that had a check or cash, I would have missed the deadline.
Really?
Because I didn't want to do it.
You got to pay to get on the thing?
Oh, you got to pay a qualifying fee. It ain't much. For my race, I think it was $150.
Oh, okay.
Nothing big. Yeah. Now, bigger race, you got to pay more, but no, my race is not that big.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good to know. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you came up with the 150, like, oh, look, Pastor broke over there. That's indeed. So you go in there, you're like, man, I need $150. You know what I'm saying? You look around like, Pastor Pickett.
Right. My partner had it, man. They didn't take debit card. I had it on my debit card.
Right.
But they didn't take it. And he said, hey, I got you.
Man, that's what's up. That's what's up.
So I don't know whether it's a blessing or a curse.
No, that ain't no giving. That's a loan.
That's right.
No. Okay, so now what is the Senate? What is Senate 29?
So I'm running for state Senate. All right. So state Senate is broken up in districts.
Okay.
My district is District 29, which covers from almost to Utica, Chapel Hill Road, all the way through Dry Grove Road, all the way through Terry, Mississippi, straight up almost Byram. Okay. Then you go almost straight up Terry Road. Yeah. You captain a lot of South Jackson that way, straight down Terry Road. Then you're kind of on the other side of University Boulevard, not on the side Jack stayed on, and you captain downtown.
So Battlefield.
Right, Battlefield, that's right. Okay. Downtown, then you you coming all the way up to Fondren, then Bellhaven, Northeast Jackson.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, that's a large district.
It's a large district, and it covers up to Briarwood. It doesn't go all the way in.
Briarwood.
All the way up to Briarwood, but not all the way wide.
Right.
It kind of narrows it out like they were trying to pick out a certain segment of the population to be in there.
Yeah, so they rezoned everything.
It just got redistricted. It did.
Now, this gentleman, I ain't gonna mention the name too tough, but the gentleman that you are running against, I've never seen him in the city or around the area.
Yeah, well, he's been there 16 years, man.
16 years?
16 years, and the major thing to me, as I was considering this, I've always thought he was okay, but when you start digging into stuff, you find out that it's a difference between being a friend and being friendly.
Right.
So he's friendly, but not a friend.
He'll give you a little bit, but he ain't gonna give you much.
Right. He smile. He show up to events. He take pictures with people.
Yeah.
But when I called him about Capitol Police killing Jalen Lewis, when I called him about Capitol Police shooting a young lady, and then Capitol Police, after threatening my family, messing with my son, he didn't say or do nothing.
Right. No, you gotta go.
And that's just one or two things. I mean, that's one thing, but man, there's so much when you look at it. And you got some ties to Terry now.
Right.
And Terry really hadn't gotten anything. And he's taking credit for stuff that other legislators did because it's election year. But Byram is okay.
Right.
Byram has gotten some things. But then you come down Terry Road.
Boy,
and
as soon as you get up out of Byram, you can't even get out of Byram good.
Daniel Lake, you talking about a food desert, no grocery stores, no. I mean, man, it blew me away. Now, I'm a little sentimental.
Yeah.
But you're talking about grocery store closed, Popeyes closed.
Popeyes. You gonna let Popeyes chicken close?
Wendy's closed. Kentucky Fried closed.
Then we got a church. Boy, church is hanging on by a thread.
By a thread.
That boy, we ain't got no Waffle House.
Zero. McDonald's closed. Everything.
McDonald's closed. Boy, you go down Terry Road, it's like a ghost town, boy.
Absolutely.
It's a ghost town. You got the what's that? Rose over there. Rose still open, but it's I forgot what was that. Fred's. Fred's next to it. That's gone.
Right.
You got Banks that's gone over there.
Man, when the bank closed. Now, first of all, you can't tell me that Popeyes wasn't making money. Right. And see, but a lot of people get this confused. A lot of people think crime ran people out. Right. It didn't start with crime. Right. It came when people come in and rip away from a community's resources. Yeah. Crime follows that. Yeah. Right? Yeah. They want to make like it's all crime.
Kroger's right there on 55.
There's nothing there.
I mean, on Terry Road.
Right.
It's literally nothing. It's like grocery store, you got Food Depot. Big shout out to Food Depot. Right. I love y'all. Y'all lunch is banging. Not to knock you. But even with the quality of food that's there, with the produce and all that type of stuff, it's not there. It's not the same.
It's not the same. And I did a survey Sunday at our church. Your church too, our church. And I asked how many people do their regular shopping at Food Depot. Not one person raised their hand. Not their regular shopping, right? So imagine a person that lives over there, and they got to make a decision to go to a grocery store where they got to drive, they got to burn the gas, they're going to Northeast Jackson. They don't want to go to Byram because they got a speed trap. You don't want to go to Clinton because they give you, you can have factory tent and get a ticket. So you got to understand, man, a food desert is serious to the health and well-being of families, man. It's serious stuff.
And then you barely got fast food, so that's even what you
no fast food. Think about it.
Only thing you got to tell big shouts out to Vittles. Vittles over there. There's a couple other, black-owned spots, which I do love.
Right.
But other than that, man, it's nothing.
It's rough. It's rough. And man, just the feeling. Can you imagine a kid that lives over there catching the bus, that goes to school at Whitten Middle School, and all you ride by is dilapidation.
Yeah.
And everything destitute. Now you got to go in school and you expect to be ready to learn. I mean, I don't get that.
Yeah.
There's something wrong with that picture. And what gets me is my opponent.
I ain't never seen him on the south side.
Introduced bills for Fundren and Bellhaven for the CCID, but nothing for Terry Road corridor.
What's the CCID?
That's Capital City Improvement District. That's the area that they were talking about with Capitol Police, House Bill 1020, all that, right? So that's a certain part of Jackson that they pulled out. That, of course, has a lot of Caucasians in it, and including downtown, where they would have control and policing over that area. So that's that area of Jackson, which basically saying the Edition, Washington Edition, Vernon Edition, South Jackson, all that. Heck with y'all, we going this route we going.
Wow. Have y'all had a debate?
We had a forum. And it went well. You know, a lot of stuff he just don't want to deal with. I mean, he voted against raising minimum wage. He voted against raising minimum wage.
Now, just a quick math. Well, I ain't got to tell you. You already know minimum wage is what, $7.25 or something like that? $7.25. You can't make a living for yourself at $15 an hour.
No,
you're gonna need an extra job at $15, $20 an hour.
Right.
And here we are, the poorest state in the country. Inflation's up. Gas is at $3 a gallon easily. $3 a gallon. So you got to work a whole hour just to get
get the gas come to work.
You can't buy a meal.
You can't buy a meal
from the restaurant you working at.
Right. That's tough, isn't it? But check this out. Not only that, there was money was coming across to expand voter education.
Right.
He voted against expanding voter education and money being given to expand voter education.
So where does that money go?
I guess it went back. I mean, that money was going to go to leaders and people that do voter education to go across the state educating people about, because, we got to get people out to vote.
Right. Wow. Now, do you have like a web page, Instagram, Facebook, where they kind of see and go to your page?
Yeah. Web page is DwaynePickett.com.
So you know what he's like, I get it out of paper. I don't want to keep it personal.
No. T, what is it, T? My Instagram is
Let me see. Hold on. I'll put
Dwayne Pickett. Post in it. DwaynePickett.com.
DwaynePickett.com. Dwayne Pickett for Senate.
The number 4.
The number 4 for Senate. Make sure you check it out. But look, we're gonna have all this information coming up in just a second. We gotta go pay these bills real quick, cause we gotta go pay these bills. But we're gonna come back more with Pastor Pickett, man, running for state Mississippi Senate District 29, man. Y'all keep it locked, be the captain.
Where's your card at?
T, I don't know, T. You
bring a card in?
I brought one in, but I don't think you got it on there.
Let me see.
DwaynePickett.com.
That's my web page.
You got that one though. Yeah, you ain't got the website.
Facebook.
My Facebook is Dr. Dwayne K. Pickett, not the Dwayne Pickett for Senate, but that's not active.
Oh wow, okay.
Instagram is my Instagram is just Dwayne K. Pickett.
Dwayne.
Yeah.
But we see something else. Change is good in some cases, but when you misuse and trust the people to benefit a select few, it's time for a change.
I appreciate you for this video.
Yeah.
Cause I hate how people put their time on dilapidated properties for election season.
Right.
I'm like, bro, you really thought that was adding value to your campaign?
Right.
By putting it on the McAllisters that ain't been open for 14
Forever, right?
Hey, oh, people, we heard the vote. I don't want to hear nothing out your mouth if you didn't get out there and go vote. Now, there's some people with felonies out there that's like, man, I can't vote, I got a felony. That's not the case. That is not the case. Depending on the felony that you got now, yeah, it may, but most likely you can vote, right? Right, Pastor Vic?
Yeah. I mean, most things, they need to check. Depends what the felony is, but every felony does not disqualify you.
Don't even worry about it. Just go in there and go vote.
Yeah,
either go take it or they ain't gonna take it. One or two.
Got to be registered.
Yeah.
It can happen.
There you go, right there. Now what's up with this education? We was talking out the air about the education system. Now, I'm originally from Houston.
Right.
You know, our system is totally different. You know what I'm saying? And I was in shock when I actually went to like the high schools and the middle schools and the elementary, seeing the things that they actually lack, and that should be just really fundamental.
Right.
That should be basic. There's no swimming pools. I know y'all like, oh, swimming pool, but guess what? You go over there, Jackson Prep and all them, I bet they got a swimming pool over there.
Absolutely.
what our baseball fields looking like, what our soccer fields looking like. What is our wood shop?
Right.
Do we got HVAC? Do we got cosmetology for the fellas and ladies? Do we got nursing? Do we got child development? Do we got sexual education? Where are those basic needs for these kids? Because not everybody wants to be a doctor. Not everybody wants to be a lawyer. Some people work better with their hands.
Right.
Like you got civil engineers, people that are better with their hands than sitting down in the classroom just reading the old basic stuff. Okay, did you pass this test? I keep my job. You pass this test. Even though we don't have all the things that we need to educate you, you know, I know the classroom are overcrowded, you know, and then why are we steady closing these schools and we got overcrowded in the classroom?
I mean, you know, it's a crazy thing going on, man. You know, education hasn't been fully funded in Mississippi in many, many years.
Yeah.
And when you're talking about an area like Jackson, Hines County, District 29, where you already have disenfranchised population of people. Right. So now, when you have 29 kids in the classroom, 25 kids in the classroom, 95% of them coming from a single parent home, which is an indicator. Don't misunderstand, single parent homes can't be successful, but it's an indicator of failure. It's an indicator of prison. When you look at all those things, those are factors. So because we're trying to educate people in an old way, in an old system that does not fit black and brown people in particular, right? So it's important that we fully fund education. It's important that we bring back those hands-on opportunities for plumbing. Man, you know what?
Plumbing make money, boy.
Plumbing, electricians,
make good
right?
money.
I mean, the Votex, all that, really funding that and giving our children an opportunity to go into fields that, you know, a lot of people pushing back for. Like you just said, a lot of kids, they're not designed to be doctors. See, it's multiple intelligence, and I don't want to get into all that. But, you know, there's multiple intelligence. I mean, there are different types of learners, auditory learners, visual learners, hands-on learners. All that's a part of really educating our children. So we've got to give the teachers, first of all, we got to pay them right. Second of all, we have to give them the proper resources to be able to deal with and the type of support that's needed. Because what's the problem? We don't have a lot of parental support. So we got to pull in, and it has to be a partnership, Mista, between the school, the teacher, the family, the student, the community. We got to get our village back strong, man.
Because you know we love our community. We love our school.
Absolutely.
You go over there to Georgetown, you 833, everybody gonna throw it.
Love it.
You know what I'm saying? Provine, Jim Hill, all of them. We got a sense of pride about our schools, but the resources are not in those schools. You know, you can't do what you need to do for your kids because the resources are not in that school. And when the resources are not in that school, that means that's money coming out your pocket to do extra things that you really don't have, but you still want your child to further. So now you got to go try to find a CDC. You got to go try to find whatever. And you got to pay that extra money to do so, which is still hurting on the family because you barely wages at $7.25.
Exactly right. But imagine what a kid's feeling like when he's seeing all of this blight, man, and how do we inspire them to want to go higher? How do we inspire them to want more?
Right, and this is what they see every day.
Every day, that's what they live in.
And then they steady seeing their peers and older brothers and older sisters. Sometimes, I'm not saying all the time, but just get caught up in just staying here and.
Man, think about this. And you know, I love social media. I love all that, right? But imagine what they're seeing. They're seeing, y'all just mentioned it, they're seeing the Tezes, they're seeing the Drakes, they're seeing all this, and they really think those people got there overnight. They don't understand the work ethic that Lil Wayne had to do. They don't understand the work ethic that Tez used to go to New Jerusalem, right? So they don't understand what it took for those guys to really do what they've done. So their mindset is skewed. And so we got to take some time, man, to sit down with these young people, show them a different kind of way. Hey, this is what it really takes to make it. Because if we don't do that, and all they see is somebody that's doing something illegal, they got nice stuff. And that's how they think.
I mean, even if you go back to when you was young and when I was young, you see the younger guy, maybe not that young, but in your bracket. You know
Absolutely.
If you're 15, you see somebody 21, 22, or even 19 that's getting money. You can like, well, man. But then you look over here at old Joe. He working hard his whole life. You know what I'm saying? Good man. You know what I'm saying? All this, but he steady struggling.
Man, my sons. I didn't want to really say my son, but young men my son's age, but my son, he was working. He just got his master's at Jackson State.
Okay.
But before that, he took a job at Walmart somewhere making $15 an hour.
Right.
And he said, man, he came home one day. He called me. He don't stay home. He said, Dad. He said, man, I can make this with one bet. Sports. He do pretty good sports betting.
Okay.
He said, I'm just not gonna keep going out here giving them 8 hours.
Right.
At $15 an hour.
That don't make sense.
But that's their mindset. And I get that, right? But what the product, we're going too far. The product come in when he want me to give him some money. And then, because we worked for that.
Right.
When it was 325 hours.
Right,
so I'm sorry.
I know.
But you understand the concept.
But
Yeah.
so you gotta go into these schools like, look, man, it's not overnight.
It's
but
not.
I guarantee you, if you put that work in and you stay consistent, you keep your head down, you block out all the distractions, and you go. You ain't gotta be a nerd. You ain't gotta be, you know what I'm saying? You can still have your fun, but if you get disciplined and you stay in it, it will pay off.
Man, but think about all the things that this lead to, man. Do you understand that in the state of Mississippi, we have an infant mortality rate that compares to third world countries? Do you understand we have the highest mass incarceration rate per capita in the world?
Yeah,
right? And you understand our prison population is 70-some% black and brown men.
Yeah.
We only make up 30-some% of the population as an entire race. That's not counting men. And I think that's a targeted thing. My opponent is not talking about mass incarceration.
No.
He's not talking about how do we stop that pipeline of going to prison. And see, their children are getting probation and their records expunged, while our children are going to prison for the same crime.
Right.
Nobody's talking about that.
Right.
So they want to talk about let's make a deal. Man, I'm not going to make a deal. I'm going to fight for my people. Right. That's what it's about for me. Okay. If you don't want somebody to fight for their people, then I'm not the one. But if you want somebody to fight for your people, then I'm the guy.
Who is that guy?
Dwayne Pickett.
There you go, right there. Yes, indeed. Now, what's up with this Medicaid expansion? Now, what's up with the Medicaid?
Man, I think it's an outright tragedy that Mississippi has the resources and opportunity to expand Medicaid, right? But the federal government is going to pay for it.
Right.
And here's the deal: it will actually benefit Mississippi, and Mississippi will make more money. More money will come in, but it's absolutely a downright shame that the governor refuses to expand Medicaid. The hospital that I was born in, Greenwood Florida Hospital, is closing. Let me show you the problem with it. My doctor explained to me. He said, here's one of the problems, Pastor Pickett. And he's the chief medical officer for the state now. Yeah. He said, the problem is if a person has a stroke, and if a person has a stroke, and if the hospital was closed, they could have a full recovery. Right. Compared to having to go an extra 40 minutes, and they might be paralyzed or die. Right.
Or if they get life-flighted, boy, you know what that ticket is?
Oh, my God. It's unbelievable, right?
You know what? Don't even worry about it. Just leave me here.
It's straight. We're good.
I can't even
We're good.
Don't take me on the pocket. Boy, because that is just...
And you know, illness should not be a reason a person got to file bankruptcy.
Right.
We can actually have Medicaid expanded in this state. And that's absolutely a stance that our governor and our state leaders are allowing to happen and allowing to take place. And what's crazy is it's impacting all people.
Yeah.
Right? When here it is, this is something we really could benefit a great number, because over a third of the people in Mississippi live below the poverty level.
I believe probably more than that.
Right, it's critical, right? So why would we not?
It's not all black people. That's what's
crazy. It is not all black people.
And that's what's crazy. That's how it's, you know you need some Medicaid, but you still voted against it.
Right, you're voting against it yourself. Right. What's the saying? You cut off your nose to spite your face, whatever. Right. I mean, it's unbelievable, right? And so you know, when we look at this kind of stuff, man, we just don't have time for folk to play games.
Right.
And you know, Mista, you know, you've been knowing me a long time. Like I said, we've been around each other a long time. And man, there's something wrong. Yeah, but there's something wrong with our people. I mean, you know, you think about it, the Black Caucus is endorsing a white male that's running against me.
But see, I'm going to put this out here now.
Go ahead.
I'm going to say now, I mean, with this whole Democratic and Republican Party, at this point, we need to start our own, to be honest.
We need to do something.
To be honest, because I mean, because I know you got to run under one or two, or three, but at the same time, what justice have they done for us in the last 10, 15, 20, 30 years?
It's critical, man. It's a crisis, and it's like we're blinded. We're not talking about it. We're continuing to elect the same people over and over again. It's unbelievable to me. I can't believe that our people have allowed this to happen, and nobody's saying anything.
I don't know if they feel hopeless or what is my voice going to do? Well, your voice will get the right person in there if you go out and vote.
And if we do that, see, the key is we want to complain but not be a part of the process.
Right.
So I had to make up my mind. I say, okay, if I'm gonna complain, if I'm gonna fight against this,
right,
then I can't sit back and say, hey, I'm just gonna leave it up to them. They've proven that they don't have my best interest. Right. They've proven they don't have the best interest. I mean, they've proven our own elected people tried to work with and sell the water. They were taking the water from Jackson.
Right, right.
You know, our people we elected in our own city,
yeah,
at the state level of representatives and senators, they were meeting with the Republicans and Deborah Holtzman to regionalize the water and take the water from Jackson. You take the water, you take the ability to make money from your utilities. That's what they did to Detroit. That's what that's what makes a city bankrupt, right? And so they got this guy that comes in and they call him a superhero. But the guy that's fixing the water is not a superhero. He got an unlimited checkbook.
Right.
They can give you and I an unlimited checkbook. We can get the right people down here to fix the water, right? So that's why you have to be very careful, because our people immediately look at the current mayor, the current city, all those people, but they giving this guy an unlimited checkbook to fix the water.
Without somebody looking over, without somebody telling them, "No, you can't do that," or we're gonna take this money.
He hiring who he want to hire. He's hiring people, man. He's hiring who he want to hire. And guess who's not getting to participate? Guess who's not getting to participate at a meaningful level? Black and brown people. Do you understand that black and brown business owners only get 0.01% of any state contract in the state of Mississippi? Not 1%, 0.01%.
Yeah.
So how do you raise a people's economic level if you do not give them an opportunity to participate at a meaningful level? Right?
They do that so they can say, "Oh, well, look, y'all ain't doing what y'all supposed to do."
But
I know
it's like running a 100-yard dash, and they get to start 80 yards in front of everybody else.
Right, and then they say, "Oh, well,
y'all ain't ready."
You got to pull yourself up by the bootstraps.
As if they did it. They got rich off the back of our people,
right,
man.
Right.
I got a guy I'm running against, been there 16 years. 16 years, and when you look across the board, you can't find anything he's done. People say, "Well, I like him." Right?
What like it?
What like him? What has he done?
There's a lot of people that I like that don't do nothing.
Show me his record.
Right.
He claimed to have gotten Terry a library. I don't know who goes to the library today, but he claimed to have done that and say, well, that's what he's done over 16 years, right?
But you know what? That would have been fine 20 years ago when people still went to the library like that.
Right. Exactly right. Yeah. But he talking about 300,000.
That 300,000 could have been in a media center where the students that came in there with computers and used those computers to instead of the book.
That's all 300,000 can do is a media center. So you ain't getting no library for 300,000.
It's unbelievable. But those are the kind of things the bar is so low, right? That if you throw us some watermelon and some barbecue,
yeah,
you know, he's a good guy. He's really with us.
He all right with me.
Right. That's kind of what I'm dealing with. I mean, you got black professionals, black doctors, black lawyers, so forth and so on. I've been supporting people, man, for 30 years. I've been putting people in business for 30 years, right? Right? And so you have somebody that doesn't have a black patient, doesn't have a white patient, that tells me, you know, this is who I'm going to support. He been good to me. What do you mean? Maybe he's been good to you. What about the rest of the people?
Right. And that's another thing, too. Sometimes it's not about you, it's about your community.
It has to be.
One person might, I mean, if you're in a different tax bracket, yeah, this person might be good for you, but is that the best for your community?
Right.
Because if it's not the best for your community, it's going to come around and bite you in the behind. Best believe that.
But, mister, you know the problem is?
What's the problem?
They don't want somebody that's going to tell the truth. So they pushing back against me, my own people.
Yeah.
I'm saying that's already in there.
Yeah.
Because they don't want somebody that's going to tell the truth. Because I called them out when they tried to steal the water.
Yeah.
Right? So they don't want somebody going to tell the truth.
Right.
And so, you know, in political circles, you know, you're not supposed to talk that boldly. You just supposed I'm just not that guy.
Right. See, y'all playing a political game.
Yeah, I'm
in the political, but I'm not political.
I'm playing for the lives of people, man.
Right.
When I look at my people suffering, I taught at Rowan Middle School.
Yeah.
I worked at Brinkton Middle School.
Yeah.
I taught at Edwards Elementary. You understand where some of the poorest kids in the country, in the nation live, right?
Yeah.
So I know what life is like if nobody gives you an opportunity.
Right.
So the reason I attach myself to people that need opportunity is because somebody gave something to me. You and I, somebody to whom much is given, much is required, right? But what they don't understand is that the majority of our children don't have somebody standing in the gap for them.
Right.
There's nobody. When I had 2 babies before I got married. Both of the grandmamas told me not to quit school. You keep going to school, right?
Yeah.
But most people don't have that.
Right.
Right? So I don't get it because it's like our own people have forgotten where they came from. And so
you know what?
I don't get it, man.
Because they're being hand fed. Once you're being hand fed and somebody instead of giving you something, you get so used to it, you comfortable.
Right.
You comfortable in the scraps that they're giving you.
Right.
You cold feet, they're just giving you the intestines.
Right.
And you happy with that.
Absolutely.
See that's the problem with that, and that is the problem right there. We got to get up off of that. Even though you got government assistance and all that, but the government cannot be your daddy.
No, man. Look,
you know.
But
anyway, so look, Pastor Pickett, now you're running for District 29, man, Mississippi Senate, District 29. What is your overall goal?
My overall goal, man, is to make sure to provide economic opportunity for all people.
Right.
We set up an education system that's going to benefit and grow and help our children grow, help the next generation grow. Thirdly, we got to make sure we provide a quality, family-friendly community for all people in every community, not just a select few. I want all the people to be blessed, man. I'm on the front line for everybody.
All right, so if they want to reach out to you with their concerns or they want to see, what you got going on, your next event's coming up so they come hear you speak, they can always go to DwaynePickett.com.
DwaynePickett.com. And everybody's invited to come out to M-Bar. We got a big deal at the M-Bar. Well, I'm with all the people, right? So I got to hang out with all the people.
You got to.
We got Omar Cunningham coming down to the M-Bar on Thursday night. Yeah. Okay. Omar coming down. I think it starts at 7 o'clock that night. Okay. We need them to come on out and support. Yeah. And let's be a part, man. Let's talk about it. It's a GOTV. Get out to vote event. We got to get everybody out to vote, man.
That's what's up. So go to DwaynePickett.com. Do we get the Facebook? What was Facebook? T, what was that Facebook?
Dr. Dwayne K. Pickett.
Dr. Dwayne K. Pickett.
Yeah, Dr. Dwayne Pickett. My Instagram is Dwayne K. Pickett. Singing. That's it.
There you go. Don't go to Junior. Go to singing.
Don't go to Junior. Yeah, go to singing. Yeah. Don't go to Junior. Please don't go to Junior.
Go to singing. Yes, indeed, man. I appreciate you stopping by. I always appreciate the stuff that you do in the community. It's always a pleasure when I see you out. I know you out there conducting business, man. And one thing I always liked about you, the thing that I always liked about you told the truth. Like, look, man, I'm not perfect. You're not perfect. This is me.
Right. This is it.
And this is what I'm trying to do.
Absolutely. Let's fight together.
And that's it.
Yeah.
I respect that 110 than somebody trying to act like they ain't never did nothing, or they just straight perfect, or they talk a certain way, they all kind of bougie and dress certain. I want to see your action. What is your action?
Absolutely.
And what do you do? So I salute you and look forward to this upcoming election and Thursday, M-Bar Jackson.
Thursday, M-Bar Jackson, Omar Cunningham. Come on out. Remember, Dwayne Pickett is on the front line for you.
There it is. All right. Well, look, man, we got more music right now. Y'all keep it locked. So be the captain.